Oh, we even got transported somewhere. We're somewhere in a demi-plane. What is this? Yeah. What? This shouldn't have happened, I think. Shards of several dozen large diamonds. They appear to have been used in an unsuccessful attempt to cast spells. Are we in Areelu's laboratory again? You use diamonds for resurrection spells, that's why I'm wondering. Papers with erratically scribbled in calculations and formulas. The words, I promise, written repeatedly in the margins. Resurrection scroll that has been ripped to pieces.
Here we
Quite
go.
sure. So she tried to resurrect her son, but for some reason it didn't work. Did she graft the sword to something? She did work on soul grafting things. Okay. Bye, potions. Did she do that to us? Because she used herself? She used herself to open the world wound. Did she do that to us? And we have the mythic power so we survive? And that's why she's testing us to see which soul is there. Oh my! I think I figured it out. What a cool plot. Mad, amazing, daring, everything. Something about this strange place feels oppressive. There, still and silent, yet you can hear the distant echoes of words, promises, and battle cries. Strange to hear what's being said, but you can only make out a few words. Finally, cease, sorcerer. I promise. I promise.
Can't be dismissed as a calculation error. You knew failure was a possibility. Then why? Why?
And all those... That's why she taunted us with the knowledge in Is. It was to trigger something in us. That's why she commented so happily about us asking so much in the Palace of Shadows. It all makes sense. Or I'm completely off. We'll find out. Areelu's silhouette looks just as surreal as the sounds that fill the space. He's not looking at you. Seems lost in thought. Voice is dull and tired, and there's no trace of the hospitality she showed you at the entrance to the fortress. I need answers.
Yes, it's decided. I will tell you the truth before we fight to the death. Would you like to know why I upended your life?
Sorry. Areelu barely seems to hear you. After a while, she turns toward you, as if noticing you for the first time. She looks at you for a moment, and her expression changes. The tiredness in her eyes gives way to a cold, hard resolve. Chaotic, knock yourself out, a villain monologuing in her evil stronghold. Wouldn't want to miss that. Speak.
This place is my demi-plane. I created it when I was a prisoner in Threshold. I would slip away to conduct my rituals here in secret. This is where I decided to create what mortals would later call the World Wound. This is where I made all my preparations. Do you understand? Escaping was never my goal. I could have easily disappeared from Threshold. I could have passed through it like water through sand.
Ooh, but why didn't she? Why did she create the World Wound?
Some believe that I brought Sarkoris to ruin out of revenge, and I suppose there is some truth to that. I did have reason for revenge. You've been to this secret part of my laboratory and know what I'm talking about. Or at least you have an inkling. My laboratory. The old house in the middle of nowhere that marked the entrance to my lab. It was the home of Areelu Vorlesh when I was still a mere mortal. I lived there with my son, away from the din of the crowd, and sheltered from the keen gaze of the Sarkorian witch hunters. It was a place where the reality of our world was in close proximity to the abyss. A place where I could study the magic forbidden to all Sarkorians. I thought I had hidden my home well, but I was wrong. They found it. They found us. At that hour, I was there, in the laboratory. That damned laboratory I loved so much. I was absorbed in one of my experiments when the hunters arrived on our doorstep. I was sitting at my desk, recording my observations, thoughts, and calculations, as was my habit. That's when I heard the noise outside. The fight was brief. It barely lasted a moment. By the time I sensed that something was amiss and hurried out to see what was happening, it was too late. All I could do was cradle the body of my dead child and cry after their departing soul. I promise.
That's why she did all those experiments. Wow. Ruthless, evil, still. Yeah. See where she's coming from. Nothing can justify the killing of a child.
I am not concerned with whether it was justified or not, or with the application of morality, the law, or the teachings of any god. Look around you. This demi-plane. The first time I escaped from my cell and ran here, I was trying to resurrect my son. I tried many things, but all my efforts were in vain. The soul had already received Pharasma's judgment and had been sent on the path determined by the gods into the abyss.
Interesting that that's something that limits resurrection. It makes sense since souls transform once they are in, well, the realm they're getting to. But also the son must have been not a good guy to end up in the abyss. Areelu is silent for a long moment and then speaks in a dull voice.
And when I realized that,
The voice grows stronger.
rebelled. But not against my jailers. Not against those who had murdered my child. Not even against Sarkoris. My uprising was against destiny. Death and the laws that the gods had forced upon our lives.
Rasma.
I realized then that I wouldn't be satisfied with simply returning my son to life. I had to shatter this order once and for all, and make it so that neither Pharasma and her lackeys nor death itself could ever stand between us. Only by stepping beyond the bounds of what had been ordained for mortal kind, by obtaining powers that rivaled the divine, could we become free.
Craft your own reality. And I mean, she made us so powerful, she succeeded to some degree.
And with this newfound purpose, I turned myself into a half-demon. Fusing the spiritual essence of the two planes was the only way I could achieve my goal. I let the abyss into my soul, and into this world. I opened the world wound. I danced around 3 demon lords, making them assist me without ever revealing my true intentions.
Successfully.
They
Quite
just
the
believed
feat.
they were dealing with another power-hungry mortal. But in reality, I was after one thing. I wanted to find what was left of my son's soul and give him a new birth. One that would prevent anything from ever harming him again.
Oh boy. The villain explanation. Yeah, the favorite monologue of the villain, right?
And then I found you. I chose you because I felt a faint affinity to you. I thought your soul could accept the remains of my son's soul,
Called it.
like the soil
Nice.
takes a seed. I thought I could bring back my child by tethering the mangled remnants of his soul to a pure mortal soul untouched by the abyss. I thought the power of the Nahindrian crystals would allow me to protect him forever. That I could tear him away from the dominion of mortal nature. But I was mistaken in both assumptions. Now I'm about to face the consequences of my mistake.
That's why she was...
You will witness them as well.
That's why she was also kind of disappointed that we didn't go for the abyssal path, right? Because, I mean, that would be fitting to the abyssal soul of her son. Strange, reverberating echoes of the demiplane for silence. All you can hear now is Rito's sad, quiet voice. Oh, yikes.
It's either us or them.
But Areelu also has such an amazing voice actress. Really like the voice.
Guide my hand. Doing is what I was waiting for.
Hey. Get out of the demiplane finished. Aren't we still in the demiplane? Ah. What difficulty are you playing? Nothing too hard. Or normal. But the latest patch kind of messed up everything, and I still wanted to play, so yeah, basically no difficulty at all. But I'm playing mainly for the story anyway. Like the latest patch kind of messed up HP of enemies and stuff. They all have just like very few HP.
You should not have come here. I, Areelu Vorlesh, the one you called the Betrayer, have nothing to offer you but death.
Wow, she's going to attack our allies.
Chance to avenge your death. Rise.
Curse you, mortal scum! You have struck ice into my heart. I will devour your souls to loosen its freezing grip.
New patch just released on Steam for your interest. Yeah, that's the patch which messed it up. Yeah. Let's hope for the best, but I mean, with the patch stuff. B, 47 HP. Okay. Let's still heal up. Go for rest. But I don't think this will be a very challenging fight.
I'll remove this obstacle.
I like that the camera always focuses on the sun here. See. No, I mean a new fresh one patch released 20 minutes ago. Oh, interesting. But yeah, I think I will just continue on. But thanks for the hint. Everything crumbling to pieces. We still have some things which look like the Axiom's powers.
The mortal who ventured recklessly into the abyss has now reached threshold. In Is, you struck down my creator and master Deskari, but if that makes you dismissive of his echo, if you think I do not pose a threat, then you are greatly mistaken.
If I killed your Demon Lord Master, shouldn't you be kind of a piece of cake? The echo of Deskari tilts his head to the side thoughtfully. Despite his calm demeanor, his voice quivers with anticipation. You know, you didn't want to fight me in the abyss, so why are you here now?
I was hunting the hand of the inheritor in the abyss, not you. And what a good hunt it was. But
Imagine
now
a locust
things are
laughing.
different. Now you are the prey I covet more than anything else.
So, where's Deskari? Is he too afraid to fight me personally? Okay.
Master is in the abyss, in his realm. No, he does not wish to meet with you yet. A demon lord cannot afford 2 deaths in succession. It will kill them permanently.
So, he is afraid. Echo, that's not some kind of strange scream. That sounds like the screech of a bird. It didn't sound like the screech of a bird. You know, out of my way. Ah, come on, no. You know what? You're just another monster for me to kill.
Just another mortal who thinks he can be something more than food for the forces of the abyss.
Ah, come on.
He lost to you. He lost. The great Deskari himself lost to a mortal. So what happens if I succeed where the great lord failed? If an echo destroys the one its originator could not defeat, who would that make me? What would it prove? I'll risk my life to know. You are not just my enemy, you are my chance. A chance I won't miss.
Alright, small Deskari. He's prudent, not afraid. Kinda both, isn't that? I mean, he's afraid that confronting us would lead to getting killed. I'd say. Look within, the echo's voice is more noticeable now. He's afraid. He's terrified by what he is saying. His eagerness compels him to continue. Yeah, 20 some hit points. He knows about the patch, maybe. That really takes out the grit of the battles. But oh well. I echo. Is something here? Do we have to go here or there? Oh, okay, other way. The Demon Lord of Patches and Bugs. Deskari is kind of the Demon Lord of Bugs. Oh, it all makes sense. Why did it take me so long to come up with that joke? Am I walking? That's a quick save. Is that the right way?
Can't make the demons wait.
Ah, it is. Wonder where we're going. The Worldwound. There she is.
This is where it happened. It was here that I conducted the ritual, sewing my soul and the essence of the abyss together. Feeling the world change around me as every stitch brought Golarion closer to the abyss. And it was here that even though you have no memory of it, I did the same to your soul.
Ah. The interplay of light and shadow in this place gives Areelu an otherworldly look. She stands at the edge of the vast rift, watching the dancing reflections cast by the violet flames. She speaks. Her voice is calm and thoughtful. Just such an amazing villain.
A researcher must not have any personal feelings for the subjects of their experiments. And yet, I find myself unable to remain completely detached from the Worldwound. I created it. I allowed it to be.
Ever the
It holds
scientist.
a place in my heart, even if I'm slowly paying for it with my life.
Yeah, and now you want us to kill us for the Worldwound. So she's your mom. Complicated family background.
A researcher must be particularly resilient in the face of mistakes, incorrect hypotheses, and failed experiments. You are my failed experiment. I think I'll feel some regret for ending your current life. But you can rest assured that such sentiments will not stop me.
Thanks. Areelu, toward you. Scarlet blood seeps from the wound in her chest. Why did you call me your failed experiment?
When I poured what was left of my son's soul into your soul, I was expecting it to bring him back. They say death and the judgment of Pharasma purges the soul of everything it once was in life. But this cannot be true. I have researched this subject meticulously and have collected enough evidence to prove that supernatural beings born from mortal souls can recall their past. Sometimes partially, sometimes fully.
It's like a mind flayer tadpole hoping that it overtakes and evolves, right? The witch shivers, as if caught by a sudden chill. She looks away for a moment.
I watched you day and night, waiting for it to happen. For your memory to awaken, or your instincts at least. For anything familiar, something I could immediately recognize. I tested you. I asked you questions and... nothing.
All the times it felt like testing it was.
Nothing.
You merged the remnants of your souls. Wait, that's the wrong voice. You merged the remnants of your souls, your son's soul with mine. So why do you want to harm me?
If a hypothesis is proven wrong, it needs to be rejected. But the research process does not stop there. That is all I can tell you right now.
So you've done all this to just save your child?
Yes. And no. Even if I could have brought back my son, I wouldn't have stopped at that. I wouldn't have been satisfied. Not after what I'd gone through.
Break the
Not
chains,
after the things I'd learned.
the laws.
I wanted to become stronger. And I wished the same for my child. I didn't want to be afraid of anything. It wasn't the dogs of Threshold, or even Sarkoris itself, that threatened us. It was the laws of a world governed by death, weakness, and separation. That is why I needed the power of the Nahindrian crystals. I did not wish to merely stave off the agony of the wound. I wanted to tear my son from the grasp of everything that makes us weak and mortal.
Quite ambitious.
You have seen a goddess. You have been face to face with demon lords. Were you awed by their greatness? Do you enjoy living in a world where your entire life cycle has been predetermined? Where everything, from your birth to what will happen to your soul after you die, has been decided for you? Or do you find, now that you have experienced the mythic power coursing through your blood, that you prefer to live in a world that you can change? A world that offers you a chance to be anything you want.
Areelu as a mother and storyteller as the father. Sounds like an interesting family dynamics. You know, I enjoy having power, but only because it allows me to make the world a better place.
I also want to make the world a better place.
Uh-huh.
But not for everyone. Only for the one person I care about.
Areelu gives you a small smile. I can tell you're preparing... You've been carrying the wound in your soul for a long time. Does that mean you will die soon?
It will kill me eventually. But I still have some time left. Years. Or decades, perhaps. But it doesn't matter. One of us will die today.
So, what exactly will happen if one of us steps into the wound?
The tearing of the soul. Followed by a cruel and terrible death. But it will likely be quick.
Reassuring. Areelu responds nonchalantly. I can tell you've been preparing this place for battle, but there's more to it. Am I right? There's barrier spells waiting to be activated, and there's something else, something Deadly.
You're so adept at magic. Of course, I've been preparing for our meeting. And hopefully I've prepared well.
There's a hint of pride in Areelu's voice, but she immediately catches herself. I've no more questions.
And it's finally time to end all this.
Yeah, if we had chosen the dragon path, we could go with a line like, you don't have to do this, we don't have to fight. Let's try this. Stop! The wound may be killing our souls, but we can find a way to solve this without bloodshed.
Asking me to stop is like asking a river not to flow. Or a volcano not to erupt. Death is not the end. I have spent 100 years trying to prove it, and I will not stop now. This experiment was unsuccessful, but that just means I need to adjust the initial conditions and try again.
The world
I
is
am
her
still
laboratory.
alive. I still have time. You, the current you, will have to die. But only to surrender the soul you share with my son. I will start over. This time I will do everything differently. I will work with even greater precision. I will turn the world upside down if I must.
Didn't you already do that? Kinda.
I promise.
Alright. I mean, hello patch. And patch bugs, this won't be a difficult fight. Here we go. I guess.
I never